In this video, we're gonna give you the exact blueprint for high-performing entrepreneurs to create a content system that works for them and builds them an influential brand. But before we get into that, welcome to the channel. My name is Oscar Cardona. I own a media company called Pathfinder Productions that does everything from content production, social media content distribution, ads and marketing, and we are coming live to you from our number 2 business, The Pod Place, a place to podcast / content studio, where you can get a full hour-long content session done for only $99. I'll leave the link in the description if you want to take advantage of that. If you're in Vegas or coming to Vegas for a convention, whatever the case is, make sure you take advantage of that. So let's get into it. Welcome, busy entrepreneurs. You know you need content, but who has the time to create content while you're running your business? Now, I understand. You don't need to spend hours every single day making content. You don't need to become a content creator to build an influential brand. What you do need, though, is a foolproof system that can work for you, where you can leverage your time making content, building a network, and pushing your business forward to create more leads, more business, more opportunity. I know what you're thinking. You're like, dude, this sounds way too good to be true. How is that even possible? I'm about to tell you. Hold on. So the problem is that most entrepreneurs are too busy running their business. They're too busy with operations, they're too busy working on the business, they're too busy dealing with problems with clients, etc., and they feel like they don't have time to make content. Does that resonate? You know you need to create content, but you don't know where to start. Should you be on Instagram? Should you be on YouTube? Should you be on TikTok? Should you be podcasting? You feel overwhelmed by the time that it takes. Creating content from scratch is exhausting and it can feel overwhelming. The biggest mistakes that entrepreneurs make is they think that they need to do it all by themselves. You don't have to be a full-time content creator to build an influential brand. Here's the solution. I'm going to show you exactly how to make more content with less time. So you might have heard this over and over again, but here's the key. To know and not to do is not to know. Leo Buscaglia. You start with long form content and then you cut it down and repurpose it for short form. Now, there are tons of gurus saying this, right? I am not a guru by any means whatsoever, I promise. But when you think about long form content, you're thinking like, oh, I'm gonna have to do a ton of research for YouTube. I'm going to have to, find some topics. I'm nervous in front of a camera, etc., right? The list goes on and on. But here is the kicker. This is the most efficient, effective way to produce long form content. Ready? And it is podcasting, video podcasting. And the reason for this is because you can invite guests, prospects, people you want to do business, people that are maybe higher in your network or higher, it's like a reach to get them. And maybe they wouldn't spend time with you for any other circumstances, but by you providing them so much value, putting them on a platform, creating video content for them, leveraging media for them, that could be extremely valuable. And so creating a podcast, inviting guests on, sharing your video, sharing your spotlight with them or putting them in the spotlight is incredibly valuable for a guest. Not only will you build your network, build relationships with people that you aspire to be, get in the same room with them, but then you have a long form piece of content. And with that long form piece of content, you could break it down into a bunch of short form reels. Here's the best part. Is not only will you have those short form pieces of content, you can collaborate with them with your guest. When you share a piece of content and you collaborate with them with your guest, you get exposed directly to their network, which amplifies and grows your whole social platform. So that is an incredible opportunity. So this is called the 60-minute content system. You come to a studio like the Pod Place, you record for an hour with your guest, you extract social media clips. With an hour-long podcast, you get anywhere from 30 to 45 pieces of content. Like, I'm not exaggerating. I do this all the time with my podcast clips. Then, once you create those short-form pieces of content and you write the Instagram captions or the social media captions, guess what? You could repurpose those for emails. You could take that copy and send it out to your email list, and then you're maximizing the content that you can reach your audience with. Step 4, you upload and automate across all social platforms. So there's a ton of scheduling tools within Instagram, within TikTok, within YouTube that allows you to batch upload all of your content and schedule it out to go out daily. And that allows you to leverage your time. When you just take one day, you could have an assistant, you could have somebody else do it for you if you're too busy. And that couple hour time block that takes you to do that will distribute the content for the entire month. Why this works is because instead of starting from scratch, you're just repurposing your content. So I would say realistically, if you allocate 4 hours to your content system for the entire month, you can have an entire month of content going out and being distributed, hands down. So if that sounds interesting, I'm gonna leave the link below to the Pod Place where you can book your first session for only $99. If you need help with the rest of it, feel free to email us in the submission form. We'll get back to you and we can help you build out your exact content system just like this. So subscribe to the channel and we're looking forward to seeing you on the next one. Peace.